Yo, what's up, social media world? It's your boy DeLung, back at you with another awesome review. What it do? Big shout out to my friends down at the Blue Mounts for giving us 100 years of movie magic. I'm so honored to be talking about Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It was directed by Steve Capel Jr. And guess what? They brought back Michael Bay. Now, we all know Michael Bay did the first 5 or 7s with Shia LaBeouf Transformer movies, and they kind of, went downhill. But they didn't disappoint in this one, and I got good news. You don't need to go back and see all of the Transformer movies. You just need to see Bumblebee in order to understand this one. This movie was straight up fire. It was set in 1994 Brooklyn. So where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? All right, I already told you it was set in Brooklyn, but this is what happens. So there's a guy named Noah, right? And Noah's ex-military personnel. He gets fired in New York City and can't find a job, and he has a little brother who has a deadly illness that no one can really cure. So his mom goes off to work and he's looking for a job. And so in that pursuit of a job, he can't find one, and his friend Reek is like, yo, let's go boost some cars. And we already know what that leads to. All you gotta do is watch the trailer of Transformers to understand that he pulls up on this 911 Porsche, takes the car for a joyride, and the car changes on him. And it turns into Mirage, this slick talking groovy 911 Porsche. Now, this is the part of the film where we meet our co-star, Elma, who is played by Dominique Fishback. Yeah, that's really her last name. Her character, Elma, in the film is kind of like a researcher. She works in this museum where her manager takes all of the credit, but she does not mind actually getting dirty and figuring out what things really are. She stumbles upon this artifact that's a falcon, right? And that's the whole premise of this movie. But this falcon is not really a falcon, it's a time warp key. And she opens up this time warp key and it pings straight to Optimus Prime. Autobots, assemble! And they all meet up at a rallying point, and they're like, the key has been found. So when Elma finds the key, her and Noah meet up because Noah is breaking and entering, obviously. That's what he's good at. He already stole a car. Why not break into this museum and then meet up with the Autobots? So once they meet there for the key, that's when problems start to happen. So the key triggers the Predacons. The Predacons are also looking for this key so they can take it up to their leader up at Unicron and take over the world, because that's what all bad guys want to do. Nobody understands. You know how in all the movies nowadays you can't really leave because there's always that end credit scene that you don't want to miss? There's a fire one in it. And I'm still not really sure what the heck G.I. Joe has to do with the Transformers. Dang it, I shouldn't have said that. Too much. I said too much. But anyways, in the end, Noah Diaz's character is looking for a job, and he has this interview, and the guy already knows a lot about him. Pretty much everything. His adventure to Peru, his time with Optimus Prime, and he says, hey, consider being a G.I. Joe. And speaking of, Airraiser, who's played by Michelle Yeoh, she just won an Academy Award for Best Actress in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I saw that movie too. That movie was crazy. One of my favorite things about this film is that we got a chance to understand and see South America. That's right, they took us to Peru. So if you have that travel bug and you want to see what Peru really looks like as far as an indigenous culture, you got to see this film, because they're going to take us through Peru. They're going to take us through the native lands, through the village, and I believe they're even hosting a ceremony at the time during the film, which is cool. Michael Bay, did you get pulled like that? How did you do that? In the middle of a ceremony, you get to shoot a film. Man, film life is so cool. You get to do basically whatever you want. In the film, one of the saddest scenes is Mirage passes away. Dang, Pete Davidson, gone already. Pete Davidson, humble brag, bro. Way to take a L in the film, just by dying. What was really cool was they created an exosuit out of Mirage's old robot system. And guess who puts it on? Noah Diaz throws that system on. I really like Noah Diaz because he's just a humble dude. He's got this saying in the film that he always says to his little brother, the one who's sick, the one who he's fighting for. Don't go be a problem, don't go looking for problems, and you won't find any problems. Now, I gotta tell you, the difference between Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal, if you're thinking Optimus Primal can really take Optimus Prime, you're wrong. And that's why you gotta see the film, because these two, They clash a little bit, but in the end, you'll see who's the leader. That's a fact. Now, one of the really sad parts of this film was when Scrooge, the main villain, caused Optimus Primal to have to take out Airazor. It was incredibly sad because Scrooge, the villain, has this ability to attack you and alter your mind. So even when you're done fighting, your mind is slowly decaying until you become just like him. And that's what happened to poor Airazor. Airazor was flying, continue out in the mission, and slowly but surely she turned into pretty much a Predacon. And Optimus Primal had to make the decision to just... And it was sad in the film. You ever see a friend have to take down another friend? Golly. But overall, this film was a great story, great concept. I love the idea of Beast. You got Cheetor, you got Wheeljack, who was a Volkswagen, by the way. There's a Volkswagen Transformer. And stay tuned for the end when you finally get to meet Agent Burke. And they tie in G.I. Joe for some reason. But overall, you have to see this film. I give it a freaking 4 out of 5 mouses. It was that good. Shout out to Pete Davidson. Shout out to 1994 Brooklyn. Shout out to the Wu-Tang. Shout out to Biggie Smalls. Taking us through Peru. Giving us some great car chases. Showing us what beasts look like. Showing us what cheetahs would look like if they were Transformers. Giving us a great leader like Optimus Prime. You gotta go out and see this movie. Stop what you're doing. This is my review. Holler.